Hey, welcome back to Vortex Garage, and we're going to go ahead and pull the masking off of the paint job that we did here on the truck. Well, not really a paint job so much as direct-to-metal epoxy primer that we did on the windshield frame. We're going to go ahead and pull this off so we can move it and then go ahead and have the windshield reinstalled, and then we'll follow up and show you the rest of that on the video today. All right, so it's been a little over a day since we laid down our epoxy primer on our F250 here. And I'm still working on getting the company scheduled to come back out and install the windshield, but in the time being, I want to be able to go ahead and move this thing around, and I'm ready to get the masking off. So I figured even though they're not here to put the windshield in just yet, well, I'd grab the camera since I'm going to pull the mask, and we'll see that. And I'll just put it at the end of the video if I don't have the rest of it done by the time they come out. So let's go ahead and peel this off and see how it looks. It's always the fun part of painting is removing the mask. Now I know when you last saw the video, the paint was pretty shiny looking because, well, it was still drying. But it's cured to a nice satin finish like you'd expect from a primer, and it looks nice and smooth. Of course, we'll get some close-ups with the camera as we go along. All right, so all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Now, much of what we have here is going to be covered by weather stripping, the windshield itself and its seals and all of the gaskets and whatnot, plus our cowling here and etc. So really, even though you see a pretty big difference in color between the white and the actual white of the car, a lot of that's going to be covered up. So this direct-to-metal epoxy primer is what you want. But the reason I went and got the white, even though I had some gray laying around, was that this strip up here, we did want to kind of minimize the look of that as much as possible. And although the white stands out enough, gray would have stood out even more. So what I'll do, let me grab the camera here. I'll show you a few things. Like I said, all right, so let's walk up and take a look at our truck window frame here, and we can see how we did on the direct-to-metal epoxy primer we put on. So pretty much the only major issue is right here. And I noticed this after I lifted off the masking tape. As you can see, there's some rust under here. I didn't catch this when I did the original cleanup. This was underneath paint, and I just didn't catch it. So what we're going to do here is I'll go ahead and sand this down. We'll get it to bare metal. And this is going to be underneath where the window goes, so it's in the interior of the car. There's no glue that goes on here. So we should be fine just putting something like the Eastwood rust encapsulator that we have that we used on the Spitfire. That'll be perfect. And if we want, we can even put a little white paint over it just so that we don't see it from the inside. But this will pretty much be covered by windshield. And like I said, it's interior to the vehicle. This rust shouldn't exist. The only reason it does is because of all the water that was getting in. Once we have this sealed and the thing's dry inside, we'll be in good shape. The only other minor issue is right along this piece. I didn't really mask it as tight as I should have, so we've got a little bit of bare metal showing through. I need to consult with where the windshield goes and see if this has actually covered completely with urethane. We'll probably be fine. Otherwise, there's little tiny bits here where there's a tiny bit of metal poking through. Could always put some of that rust encapsulator on it, and it shouldn't upset our window seal because we got plenty of sealing material around there. Other than that, as you can tell, it looks pretty nice. And even up the sides. Of course, you can see where our paint line ends, pretty obvious, but and you can see also how I sanded down the bare metal and didn't really feather anything or fill it. Like I said, we'll figure out later on if we want to repaint the whole truck. For now, this is a work truck. We just want to get the window back in and get it sealed properly. Same deal on this side. Everything looks nice. Our cowl inside there is pretty clean. And everything up here is pretty clean. All right, so that's pretty much our truck and our window frame. So I think it's looking pretty good. We're going to work on getting that windshield install scheduled, and this thing will be all wrapped up, and we'll catch you up on video when that happens. So just a few days after we shot this, we were able to get in touch with the glass company, and they were able to come out and get a new windshield installed. And that went well. The technician had no problem getting it installed. The direct-to-metal epoxy primer worked perfectly. Everything sealed up just perfectly. And been through plenty of rainstorms, no leaks, no nothing. And with all the trim back on and the cowl and everything, well, the truck actually looks pretty good. The next step after that, and of course we didn't get any of this on film, we cleaned up the interior and got all the panels reinstalled. And quite frankly, the truck's starting to look good again. Well, stay tuned here on Vortex Garage because we've got more work going on with this truck, and we're going to have more videos posted soon as we refurbish this F250.